Hey, I'm Hunter Allen with Peaks Coaching Group. I'm here to talk a little bit more about dynamic FRC. This is part 2 of this little video series on FRC and dynamic FRC. So let's talk a little bit farther about this because I introduced it in our last video about how you deplete this, and then the next question is, when should I deplete this and when should I not deplete these things? So what does it mean, right? Because you need to understand what it means. So first off, here's our little workout, right? Now, one of the things that I have for a little cheat to find your FTP, right, is the 20-minute test. You know, you don't have to do a 60-minute test, right? You can do a 20-minute test, take 5% off of that. But a lot of people have forgotten about the fact that you've got to do a 5-minute test before the 20-minute test to deplete that FRC, so that then that makes that 20-minute more accurate, right? You're more aerobic in that period, okay? So it's still a great test. It's going to be different for everybody, right? Even though you may need 5%, 7%, etc. But if you do the 5-minute test right, your dynamic FRC will really show it. So let's say, for example, you're rolling along and you're doing your interval right here, and then you crack out that 5-minute, you go as hard as you can in that 5-minute, and then you do your 20-minute, okay? So then we've got our 20-minute here, here's our 20-minute, comes down, and then goes out to the end. We want our FRC in this 5-minute to be totally depleted. So your FRC may start right here, and then when you get to the 5-minute, it just goes straight down to the bottom right here, and you completely deplete that FRC so that when you get to the 20-minute, you're more aerobic, right? You don't have that FRC to rely on. So this starts to come back up, right? And so it comes back up, and you may only recover that much, and then you start your 20-minute. If you take more time here, if you take 20 minutes in between, you're going to replenish more, and maybe all of it. So I don't want you to do this. This needs to be a short period of time, right here to right here, 5 minutes, all right, maximum. Okay, I would prefer it even be 3 minutes, so don't take too long in between those, but 5 minutes is fine, okay? Then once you start your 20 minutes, it'll come back down again, and it'll come back, and you might be able to recover it a little bit towards the end, but you're still, if you do this ideally, right, so this is maybe how you do it, right, if you do it ideally, your FRC just continually, gradually comes down during that 20-minute until the finish, and then it goes back up again and you recover it. Why? Because that means that you have never gone below your FTP in your 20-minute test. The only reason this recovers is because you've gone below your FTP, and it helps to recover it. So you should be at your FTP, and ideally, right, you're 5% above it, then during this time period, so that thing should always continue to go down. That's one way that we look at this FRC and dynamic FRC. Let's think about another one from a perspective of intervals that we're trying to complete and get the most out of, because that's important too. So we have, again, here's our workout. And let's say, for example, we're rolling along here, and what we want to do in this one is we want to get the maximum repeatable efforts that we can do. So let's do 2-minute intervals, 2-minute intervals, 2-minute intervals. Sorry, this is not my best handwriting, but glad I'm not getting paid for handwriting. But we're doing 2-minute intervals, 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off kind of thing. So what's happening in here is I want you to complete all these intervals so that your wattage is relatively stable. You're working on your repeatability, okay, your repeatability. So when that's the case, your FRC starts out here, and then it comes down, and then it replenishes, and then it comes down, and then it replenishes, right? And then it comes down, and then replenishes. So you're replenishing it not all the way back up to the maximum number, because you never went really enough below your FTP to really do that, but you're not also depleting it all the way, because I want you to improve that repeatability so that you're doing all these things again. So then that way we've got this out here. Whoops, I kind of messed that one up. You should be, maybe that last one will go all the way, right? We'll push that one to the end. It's going to recover a little bit here and then go down. So that's why I have that one looks in there. But anyhow, that's one way to do it as well, is if you're repeating these things, you need to make sure you're replenishing it. That's different than if you're trying to really increase this maximal number and do very, very intense and hard intervals, right? So if we have, we're trying to improve our max number, let's say we're doing 3-minute intervals, and we're running along here, and we're doing a 3-minute interval, and then we take a massive rest, and then we do another maximum 3-minute interval, and then we take another big rest, and we do another big 3-minute interval. You know, what we're doing in this one is then we're trying to deplete that FRC as much as we can. So now it's coming all the way down. Then I want that FRC to recover right back up and then come all the way down again, and then bring that back up as much as we can and then come all the way down again. So that is a different purpose of the interval that you're doing. This is helping to increase your maximum wattage, right? Bring up this maximum wattage for 3 minutes, whereas the previous one was really working on your repeatability. Okay, so there's a difference between those two. So we look at the dynamic FRC chart differently, and we use it differently, and to confirm, is the athlete doing the right thing? Are you making the right decision in how you're actually pacing yourself during these intervals? I hope that's helped a little bit about dynamic FRC. Thanks for watching. I'm Hunter Allen. Put some comments below. I love seeing your comments. And check us out on Facebook. Like us on Instagram. Love to hear from you.